Another hit drama Mi and Gong Jun's Fox Demon Little Matchmaker Moon Red will be aired recently. This drama is adapted from the comic work of the same name by the famous cartoonist One Piece. It tells the story of Tu Shanhong, the righteous leader of the Tushan Fox clan, and Dong Fangyu, a descendant of the Dongfang family, who met and fell in love with each other. The play is directed by gold medal director Mak Wanzi, and the production team of Legend of Sword and Fairy has reunited and is expected to bring a double feast of visuals and plot. Love, hate, racial taboo, love tragedy. Dongfang Yu is a young man from the human race, and Tu Shanhuang is the master of the fox race. The two were not supposed to fall in love, but they fell in love with each other during an encounter. Dongfang Yu's delicate face exudes a gentle and scholarly spirit, while Tu Shanhuang exudes the beauty of ice muscles and jade bones unique to women of the fox tribe. The encounter between the two people under the moonlight seemed to be a coincidence, but it was also full of destiny. After falling in love at first sight, the two began to meet frequently on the forest paths. Dongfang will pick wildflowers at the beginning of the month and recite poems to Tu Shanhuang, and Tu Shanhuang will also dance a natural sound to Dongfang at the beginning of the month accompanied by the moonlight. Their love should have been sweet and beautiful, but the barriers of racial differences and family responsibilities cast a shadow on this relationship. As the clan leader, Tu Shanhuang shoulders the important responsibility of protecting the clan members. Dongfang Yu was also burdened with the expectations of his family and was forced to marry other women. Various realistic factors hindered the blossoming of their love, but they still couldn't guard against their sincerity, meeting again and again under the moonlight and confiding their hearts. This kind of love that is imprisoned by reality but strives to resist makes people feel distressed and applaud their courage. We have all had such a person come into our hearts, but had no choice but to leave. Those moments of thinking day and night are just like the nostalgic gazes of the two people in the play, making people laugh and cry at the same time. As fate would have it, Dongfang married another woman at the beginning of the month, and Tu Shanhuang also accepted the accusations from her tribe. However, true love does not disappear when its form changes. Many years after their marriage, the two still meet each other on nights when the moon is dim and stars are dim, and those non-stop thoughts are difficult to let go of even if they have become someone else. A love that cannot bear fruit, racial barriers destine it to only strun along in the heart, but this sincerity is also more precious because of taboos. We may not be able to be with our loved ones in reality, but that sincere emotion will still nourish us through other difficult times in life. The love between man and ghost is not over yet, the protection of looking back for a lifetime. However, the good times did not last long, and a catastrophe befell Dongfang Yu and Tu Shanhuang. A fire broke out in Tushan, and Dongfang Yu's wife died. Dongfang Yu was seriously injured and died. Because of the psychological effect of loving life and hating death, Dongfang Yu actually blamed Tu Shanhuang and swore a poisonous oath before his death, vowing to seize the marriage of Tu Shanhuang's reincarnation 100 years later. Although Tu Shanhuang was also seriously injured in the fire, she did not have any resentment and only hoped that Dongfang Yu would be well. When she learned about Dongfang Yu's vow, she just cried and said nothing. She understands that all this stems from love and hatred, and is not the original intention of Dongfang Yu. 100 years later, Tu Shanhuang was reincarnated as scheduled, and Dongfang Yu's resentment also found her. I saw that the reincarnated Dongfang Yu actually became the prince of a country, handsome and unrestrained, and only wanted a beloved bride. But the reincarnated Tu Shanhuang was reduced to a young girl and could only act as a maid in Dongfang Yu's palace. Seeing that Dongfang was getting married to her beloved princess at the beginning of the month, Tu Shanhuang felt unhappy, but she could only wish her well. Unexpectedly, a bottle of poison was placed in the bride's makeup box. After the princess finished applying makeup, she died suddenly on the spot. It turned out that this was a vicious plot set by the concubine who was jealous of the princess. Tu Shanhuang felt sour in her heart. She understood that this was Dongfang Yu's fulfillment of her oath 100 years ago. However, she cannot just watch her beloved fall into a vicious plot. Even if she has been reincarnated, she must protect Dongfang Yu for hundreds of years. In the end, at the wedding scene, Tu Shanhuang stepped forward and blocked Dongfang Yu from a dose of poison that should have belonged to the bride. Tu Shanhuang, who fell in Dongfang Yu's arms, smiled and said to him, "I will protect you for the rest of my life without any regrets. We will renew our relationship in the next life." Tears fell uncontrollably, and Dongfang Yu suddenly realized that the vow made 100 years ago was just a moment of confusion, and Tu Shanhuang's love for him had always been unwavering. He held Tushin Honghong's hand tightly and promised her that she would never be in trouble with each other in the next life, and that she would achieve positive results in the next life so that they could finally get married. When true love is obscured by hatred, people tend to lose their true feelings. However, as long as the sincerity remains, cultivators will eventually understand that love can transcend the cycle of life and death and does not require the chains of vows. Tushin Honghong and Dongfang Yui went through hardships, but finally achieved success. This is the embodiment of the greatness of human nature. Mi and Gong Jun perfectly interpret the romance of reality and myth. A good story requires excellent actors to interpret it in order to move people's hearts. In Fox Fairy Matchmaker, Moon Red, Mi and Gong Jun's superb acting skills make this love story that spans humans and ghosts even more unforgettable. Mi played the touching role of Tu Shan Honghong to perfection. The unswerving look in her eyes is the portrayal of Tushin Honghong. The blow of fate cannot change this woman's persistence in love. This otherworldly feeling was fully demonstrated through Mi's eyes and acting skills, which moved the audience. The Dongfang Yu created by Gong Jun is more humane and glorious. His handsome face was filled with youthful simplicity and love and hate. When he hates love, the confusion in his eyes makes people sad. When he regains his true heart, the determination in his eyes makes people cheer for him. The perfect interaction between the two powerful actors makes this human-ghost relationship come alive on the screen. What we see is not only touching love, but also a symphony of reality and ideals. Some netizens commented, Mi's eyes can really penetrate history and see eternity. This comment reflects the true feelings of many viewers. Each of us has a soul, and the love of this soul is the most lasting belief in life after life.